Today, you're going to be learning 5 things you are probably doing wrong in chess, and most importantly, how to fix them so you can destroy your friends and opponents and win more games. Let's get straight into it. The first thing you're doing wrong in chess is trading for no reason. Don't get me wrong, trading can be a great thing, for example, when you're up in material, but there can be times when trading is unnecessary, and sometimes even a bad option. Take this position for example. In this position it is move 6, and an example of a trade for no reason for white here would be the move bishop takes f6, and this is for 3 main reasons. First of all, black isn't forced to capture back with their pawn, so they're not even damaging their pawn structure. Second of all, they are able to capture back with their queen and activate their queen on a beautiful f6 square, which could in the future become very potent. And third of all, we have simply gotten rid of what was actually a very strong piece, because as you can see here, this bishop on g5 was doing a fabulous job, pinning this knight on f6 to the queen on d8. So overall, this move bishop takes f6 is a trade for no reason. The second thing you're doing wrong in chess is not paying attention to pawn structure. Now, I like to look at pawn structure in 3 different categories. Are the pawns central or are they flank pawns? Are they isolated or are they connected? And lastly, are they doubled? Ideally, you'd want your pawn structure to look like this, connected and not doubled, instead of this, isolated and doubled. I'm going to show you a couple ways in which you can keep a healthy connected pawn structure. Now, in this position, we have just kicked out the black bishop with the move h3. Let's say they were to capture our knight on the f3 square. When possible, try and capture back with pieces instead of pawns. The reason is, if here we were to capture with the pawn, we would simply have doubled pawns on the f file and also an isolated pawn on the h file. So instead, it would be way better to simply capture back with the knight, keep everything very nice and healthy, and even develop a piece. The second mini tip to help you guys keep a healthy pawn structure is when they capture you and you don't have any other pieces other than pawns ready to capture back, always try and capture towards the center rather than away from the center. The reason this is, when you capture towards the center, you are always able to try and expand in the center later on, whereas if you were to capture away from the center, suddenly you are not able to expand in the center, and making matters worse, these pawns are now doubled and isolated. The third thing you're doing wrong in chess is actually something I'm guilty of doing as well quite often, and it is forgetting to review your games whether you win or whether you lose. Reviewing or analysing your games after you've played them is a great way to identify your brilliance, blunders, inaccuracies, and so on. From these pieces of information, you can look at where in the game you are making these moves. Maybe you are missing chances to get a winning position in the middle game, or getting trapped by an opening you've never come across before. Reviewing your games will help you massively in getting a great idea as to where you need to work on the most, therefore improving your game. The fourth thing you're doing wrong in chess is memorizing the moves of your opening instead of also memorizing the plans of your opening. Memorizing moves is fantastic because that's what you'll be playing on the board. However, you can only memorize so many moves, and once you get into the middle game, if you've only studied the moves, you will get stuck. So, to solve this problem, we can also put study time from our openings into learning some of the long-term plans and objectives of the opening, allowing us to not waste time in the middle game and play our moves with a good level of confidence. The fifth thing you're doing wrong in chess is not being patient enough. After all, in chess there are nearly 70 trillion possible positions after just 5 moves. This number only grows once you enter the middle game and then eventually the end game. What I'm trying to say here is, chess is a long game. You don't have to rush pawn breaks early or try and go for an all-out attack on move 10. Of course, if you want to, you can if that's your style, but instead though, take some time to think, get your pieces into good positions, and use those long-term plans of your openings which we looked at in the last tip. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons. Links to the Discord server, Lee Chess Team, and Twitch stream will be in the description. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.